Hi students, today we will continue with question number 15. In the last lecture we did up to question number 14. Also you can download these questions from the description of the video. Now question number 15. PQRS corners of a square are occupied by Q minus Q, 2Q and Q charge respectively. So one square is given to us. Let us take this square, that is point P. The charge on this is small q. Then the charge on the point Q or the vertex Q is small q. It is minus q. Then on vertex R, the charge is plus 2q, and on the vertex S, the charge is plus capital Q respectively. The side of the square is 2a. So this is the side of a square 2a. Find out the field at the midpoint of the side. The field at the midpoint of the side RS is 0. So it is given that if we take a midpoint, let this be the midpoint. Let us denote it by O. This midpoint, the field at the midpoint is 0. It is given that the field at the midpoint is 0. What is the value of Q by Q? So we have to find out the ratio of small q to the capital Q. Small q to capital Q. Now we will find out the resultant force acting at the midpoint. There are 4 charges. So first we find out the magnitude as well as the direction. We will see the magnitude as well as direction. So if I join this PO, then OQ, we have to find out the direction. So we assume that unit positive charge is placed at this point. This distance is 2a. This is the midpoint. So it is a. So the distance OP will be equal to OQ is equal to root 5a. That is the Pythagoras theorem we applied. So distance is known. Now this is plus. So there will be a repulsive force. Let this field be denoted by EP and let this angle be theta. Similarly, there will be a force of attraction. Let this field of Q is denoted by EQ. This angle is also theta because both the source have a same magnitude as well. The distance OP and OQ is also same. So I write the magnitude. We know that first you have to write the magnitude. So EP is equal to EQ is equal to, we are writing only the magnitude, that is K source, distance between test and source. So it becomes phi a square. This is equation number 1. And the respective direction is given in the figure. Now force due to the charge on R. So it will be repulsive. Let us draw a long line from this point. This is ER. And due to this plus Q, the force is in direction, that is ES. So that is the repulsive force. We write the magnitude of ER, ES. So ER is equal to K source upon distance, that is the midpoint is there, so A. Similarly, ES, K source upon distance square, it is a distance square. So we have ER as well as ES, the respective direction is shown. ES and ER are one dimensional, but EP and EQ is two dimensional and it makes an angle theta. So we resolve this components. If I draw a perpendicular then the direction of this force comes out to be EQ cos theta. So I am writing in this direction. So this is this portion along the x-axis, and if I want to drop a perpendicular component, it will be EQ sin theta. Then we have to find out that the resultant force on this origin is 0. Then this component, so it is plus EP cos theta. So EQ cos theta, EP cos theta and ES all are in the same direction, while ER is in the opposite direction. Also we have this right angle triangle. So from the figure, because cos theta is there in our diagram, it will be needed. So I find out the cos theta from this or from this triangle. So cos theta is equal to adjacent, that is A, upon the hypotenuse, that is root 5A. So cos theta is equal to A upon, that is adjacent upon the hypotenuse, that is A upon root 5. So we cancel this, it comes out to be 1 by root 5. So let us name this as equation number 2. Now the resultant force, that is the x component of the resultant force. So let us name this as E naught x, that is the x component. This is equal to EP cos theta plus EQ cos theta plus ES and minus sign for the opposite direction, that is minus ER. So x component resultant should be 0. If the resultant force is 0, then summation of the x component and the summation of the y component should be 0. Now EP, EQ have a same magnitude. We have a cos theta also. So E naught x can be written as 2 times either of these two values. So I write EQ upon phi a square cos theta, that is 1 by root 5. So this is this value minus ES. So minus KQ, plus KQ upon a square, and ER, that is 2KQ upon a square. Therefore, now resultant force given is 0. So this is equal to 2KQ upon phi root 5 a square. Now if we say this is 1 minus 2, that is minus 1. So KQ upon a square. Therefore, we have to find out the ratio Q upon Q. So therefore 2KQ upon phi root 5 a square is equal to KQ upon a square. So AQ is cancelled, KK is cancelled. So we are left with Q upon Q is equal to 5 root 5 divided by 2. So this should be the ratio, that is option number A. So this is our question number 15. Now before we do question number 16, let us do a theory. The theory is find the electric field intensity due to charge arc. Now charge arc have a density, that is a linear charge density lambda, and you have to find out the electric field intensity due to charged arc at origin. So this is one of the important theory. Now if we remember the formula, whatever we will derive, we can directly apply it to the MCQ. Otherwise you have to solve the a numerical. Now a charge arc is given. So this is an arc. Let the surface charge density, linear charge density is lambda. So it is a wire. This is an origin. You have to find out the intensity at this point. So as we know, if there are a concept of linear surface or volume charge density, then we have to divide the entire source into an infinitely small elements. It can be a line element, surface element, or you say a area element or a volume element. So this is an arc made up of a wire. So the density is given as lambda. So we divide this into the small line element. This is the line element. Let the line element is dl and the charge is dq. Now first I join this tail of the element and then the head. So this angle made is d theta, which is very small because the element is chosen as very small, and the initial angle is theta. Now first we will find out the electric field intensity at origin due to this charge line element. Now this line element will be taken. Let us take a point here. We keep a test charge here. Now if we keep a test charge at this point, there will be a repulsion. So let this be denoted by dE. This is denoted by dE vector. So this is the electric field intensity at origin due to this small line element. Now if we assume that this d theta is very small, this angle is assumed to be theta. So we assume that this angular width or this d theta is very small. So this is assumed to be a theta. So our field is two-dimensional. Now I make a component. I drop a perpendicular to this. So this component is dE cos theta and this component is dE sin theta. So clearly we get a direction of resultant field intensity is in the third quadrant. So it have minus I and minus j cap as a unit vector or a direction. Now first step in all such sums was we find out first the magnitude of electric field intensity. So dE can be written as K source upon distance. Let R be the radius of this arc. So R is the radius of this arc. So this can be written as R square. Also, when it is required, we can write dQ is equal to lambda dL. That is the definition of, the charge, that is lambda into dL. Now if I substitute here, dE is equal to K lambda dL upon R square. Now we know that it is not possible to do the integration with respect to dL, because when the element is changed, when this element is changed, I have to take this element, this different element. So theta will be changing. So here the theta is variable. So I need to convert this equation into theta. Now we know that angular width, that is d theta, is equal to arc. Let us name this arc as AB. So that is the length of a arc AB divided by radius. Therefore dl can be written as r d theta. Therefore dE is equal to K lambda r d theta upon r square. Therefore dE is equal to K lambda 1 upon r d theta. This is our equation number 1. Now I write this equation in a vector form. Therefore dE vector can be written as dE, direction is negative x-axis. So I write minus DEI minus DEJ. Now we have a cos and sin component, sorry. So I will write this as DE cos theta I minus DE sin theta j. So we have this x and y component, and we know that any vector can be written as AXI minus or AXI plus AYJ, where AX is equal to A cos theta and AY was equal to A sin theta. So that is the concept of a vector, and this minus sign indicate the direction. We are in a third quadrant. Therefore, DE vector is equal to, now we take this DE common, the magnitude I can directly write K lambda upon R, which is constant term. So whatever element you take, R remains constant. Theta is variable, so I write this as minus is also taken out, cos theta d theta I my plus sin theta d theta j. So this is in a vector form. Now I have to find out the resultant electric field intensity. Therefore, E vector is equal to, we integrate this entire equation, so minus K lambda by R integration cos theta d theta direction I plus integration sin theta d theta j. The direction is minus I minus j, but minus is taken outside. Now see the limit. If we have taken the first element, the theta is 0, and if I take a last element, then the theta is 90. So the limit is from 0 to 90 degree or 0 to pi by 2 radian. So this is the different integration, that is equal to minus lambda r. Then integration of cos theta, that is the sin theta, limit is 0 to pi by 2, direction is I. Integration of sin theta minus cos theta, limit is 0 to pi by 2, direction is j. So now we will put the limit. Let me write this thing here. So this is equal to, E vector is equal to minus K lambda R. So sin 90 minus sin 0, that is 1 only, so I. We have a minus sign, cos 90 minus cos 0. Cos 90 is 0, cos 0 is 1, minus minus plus, so plus Ij. So if I open the bracket, this minus is taken inside, so clearly our electric field intensity should be in the third quadrant. So from this answer also we can say that we derived at a right expression. Now I have to find out the magnitude. So mode of E, that is equal to, so K lambda upon R is a constant term, under root x component plus y component square, so that is 1 square plus 1 square. Otherwise, if you take this inside, k square lambda square upon r square, which is taken outside. Otherwise, directly you can write that is root 2 k lambda r. So if you remember this, that is the electric field intensity due to this charged arc. So this is, we have done different applications in our syllabus using the Gauss law, and these are the numericals which are related to the continuous charge distribution. So if you have an arc, then you have to directly remember that is root 2 k lambda by r would be your answer. And if this arc is drawn at this side, then it is clear the resultant will be in the fourth quadrant. So there I will be positive and j will be minus. Answer will remain same. Direction can be easily determined from this the direction can be determined from the diagram itself. Now this is that situation. Now suppose if you remember this portion, then the diagram may change, and in some MCQ we have a semicircle. We have a semicircle, and where the the linear charge density is again lambda given. Now we have to find out the electric field intensity at this point. So if you remember this half portion answer is root 2 k lambda by r. Now if this is an arc, you can directly say this is one number arc, this is two number. So I can write this as E1 vector, and this can be written as, so direction of this, we have proved this portion. This will be equal to E2 vector. Now the magnitude would be same. So if I want to write the magnitude of this diagram, I would write E1 is equal to root k lambda by r, and E2 is also equal to root 2 k lambda by r. We can write this. So magnitude is same, but direction is different. Now from the geometry, we can easily say that this angle comes out to be 90 degree. This is a 90 degree angle. So where would be the resultant? Resultant will be, or if you don't understand this angle, take this as a theta, as we have taken. Take this as theta. So if I join this, cos component will be cancelled and the resultant will be sin component, and then again you do this integration. Otherwise this angle is 90 degree. Now this is the resultant E. So E vector can be written as E1 plus E2. This is the vector addition, or in a vector form. Now if I have to write the magnitude would be written as under root E1 square plus E2 square plus 2E1 E2 cos of angle between E1 and E2. That comes out to be 90 degree. That comes out to be 90 degree, and we know that cos 90 is equal to 0. So this angle, actually when we find out this angle, it comes out to be 45 degree only. So this is 45, this is 45, so this angle should be equal to 90 by geometry. Now cos 90 is 0. So you are left with under root E1 square plus E2 square. Now the magnitude is same. So this can be written as root 2 times either E1 or E2. Now substitute this value. So E comes out to be 2k lambda by r. This is our answer. So if you have a semicircle, then the resultant would be 2k lambda by r. Directly you can do that thing. You have to remember this. Now instead of this semicircle, if suppose the diagram given is like this. So let us take this as 1, 2 and 3. Again linear charge density is lambda. Now due to this one that we have proved, this is your E1. Due to this, that is E2. Due to this 3, this is your E3. Now E1 magnitude, E2, E3 magnitude is this root 2k lambda by r. Now we have found that E1 and E2, let the resultant be this E12, and we know its magnitude is 2k lambda by r. Its magnitude is 2k lambda by r. So I can write E1 is equal to E2 is equal to E3 is equal to root 2k lambda by r, where E12 is equal to 2k lambda by r. Now the resultant of 3 and 1 2, resultant of 3 and 1 2, now 1 2 is 2k lambda by r and E3 is root 2k lambda by r. So the resultant will be somewhere this nearer to E12. Let this be written as E. Now in the vector form, I can write E is equal to E1 plus E2 plus E3. Then in the vector form, this can be E12 plus E3. That is E. Now mode of E. So that is equal to under root E12 square plus E3 square plus 2E1. Sorry, E12 E3. Now angle between 1, 2 and 3. So this angle we know it will be 45 degree and this angle is 90. So total angle, this angle, say angle this, it is 135. And cos 135 will be equal to minus 1 by root 2. So this can be written as under root E12. E12 is 2k lambda. So 4k square lambda square upon r square. 3 plus 2k square lambda square upon r minus cos 145 is 1 by root 2. You can find out that. So minus 1 by root 2. Then this 2 and the product. So if I do this product and take this 2, it becomes 4 k square lambda square upon r square into root 2. So this is 2 multiplied by 2, that is 4. And then we have root 3 also. So this root 2 get cancelled. And this entire term also get cancelled with this. So again, the resultant E vector magnitude comes out to be root 2k lambda by r. This is the resultant. So the resultant is same, but the direction will change. So for this I can write I plus j. For this I can write minus I minus j. For this I write plus I minus j. The magnitude remains same. So you can add that in the term of ijk also. Now if the entire circle is given, then we know that these two opposite ends will cancel the field. It will also, these two ends will also cancel the field. So these two are equal and opposite field will be produced. So if we have a circle or a ring, then the resultant electric field intensity at the midpoint comes out to be 0. So we have this 4 cases. You have to remember the formula which can be directly applied to our MCQ. Now if we see the MCQ 16, it will be very easier because we can directly apply the formula. So let us see MCQ number 16. Now if you see MCQ number 16, we can directly write the answer. It is given that a charged wire is bent in the form of semicircular arc of radius A. So instead of r, the radius A is given, and if the charge per unit length is lambda coulomb per meter, the electric field at the center. So it is a direct sum. Now we have derived the theory. This is the diagram. So we know that E should be equal to 2k lambda by r due to this arc, resultant will be negative y-axis if they give you the diagram. Otherwise this is a formula. Now in the answer they have given in the terms of epsilon naught, so k can be written as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. So this can be written as lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught r. So that is the direct. So sorry, here the radius given is in the term of A, so I write this A. So this is option number C. So direct answer if you remember the theory, otherwise we have to do the derivation. Now let us say question number 17. A small ball of mass, some mass is given. So the mass of the ball is 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg having a charge of 1 micro coulomb, so Q is equal to 1 microcoulomb, is suspended by a string of length 0.8 meter. So we have this ball having a mass M and Q suspended from, so let us say this is the origin point of suspension and this is the ball of mass M having charge Q. Another identical ball having same charge is kept at the point of suspension. So this is your point of suspension. So another charge is kept at this point. So let us, this point is denoted by O and the charge is Q. So one charge is kept here. The minimum horizontal velocity with which which should be imparted to the lower ball so that it can make a complete revolution. So we have to give a horizontal velocity to this ball so that it completes one revolution. So this is the situation, how much so this should be a circle having the radius equal to the length of the string. So this charge is fixed. The question is, what should be the minimum horizontal velocity which should be imparted to the lower ball so that it can make complete revolution. So let the minimum is U, that is the initial. Now if we give the velocity to it, or I can flip it like this, when it comes to this point, now let A be the lowest most position and B be the topmost position. So when it is moving on a circle, its speed will keep on changing and the centripetal force will also act on it. Moreover, there is a force of repulsion on them. So if this is the situation, if it is hanged like this and another charge is kept here, so this will be equal to F, that is the repulsive force. Mg is also downward and we have a tension in the opposite direction, that is the string is stretched. Now when it is given some velocity, say U, it comes to the topmost position. Let the velocity at this point is V. Then this distance, that is L only, Mg, that is downward. Then there will be a force of repulsion in the upward direction, both positive charges. Now assume that this is our source. We have to deal with this charge, that is our test charge, say. And the tension T2, moreover the centripetal force, which is equal to mv square upon r, here r means L, that is directed towards the center. So we have a centripetal force towards center, tension towards center, mg towards center, but an electric force upward. Now if you remember the theory of this concepts of such type, the tension at the highest point, let this point be B. Then the tension at the topmost position, that we have done in a rotational motion or a circular motion theory in 11th. So at the topmost position, the tension is 0. And we draw a FBD diagram, that is a free body diagram. So from FBD at point B, that is a free body diagram. So if you see the diagram, we have T2, mg and centripetal force directed towards the center. So the direction of this centripetal force is taken as positive. So from FVD I write T2 plus mg, repulsive force in opposite direction, that is K, Q square, this is L. So L square is equal to the centripetal force mv square upon L. But at topmost position or at the highest point, you have to remember the tension is 0. Let tension is denoted by T2 here. This is T1. The lowest point will have a tension, but highest point the tension is 0. So this equation can be written as, see, we want to find out the initial speed. What should be the minimum velocity which should be imparted to it? Here the speed is v. So first I have to find out the v. T2 is 0. So I divide this equation by m. So it becomes g minus k q square upon ml square is equal to v square upon l. Therefore, v square can be written as gl minus kq square upon ml square. So this becomes ml. That is equation number 1. If you remember, such sums were done in work energy theorem or in the work energy power chapter. Only difference is now we have a 2 charge and there is a repulsive force. Otherwise, the question in 11th was find the speed at A, then here point B was given, here point C was given, here point D was given. So that we found the speed to be root gr, root 2 gr. Like this we have found the values. Here we have a repulsive force. So this is V square. Now we apply simpler law of conservation of energy, that is energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So according to law of conservation of energy, so according to the law of conservation of the energy, at this point, at the lowest most point, we have a kinetic energy plus potential energy, and at the highest point, this is a minimum, if I take this as a surface, then kinetic energy plus potential energy at A is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy at B. So that is the mechanical energy remains constant. Now if I take this line as a reference or say a ground, then the potential energy is 0. So I have only the initial energy, initial kinetic energy, that is half mu square, equal to at the highest point, that is half mv square, plus that is the speed at this instant and the potential energy due to the position. So from ground you are 12 distance away. We assume that this is a ground. So potential energy becomes mg into twice L. Now I have to find out U. So dividing this, we multiply this equation by 2 and divide it by m. M is cancelled already. So it becomes U square is equal to V square plus 4GL. This is our equation. Now V square is found. We substitute this V square here. So using equation number 1, U square is equal to GL minus KQ square upon ML plus 4GL. So U square is equal to 5GL minus KQ square upon ML. Therefore, U is equal to under root 5GL minus KQ square upon ML. So we know the value of mass is given to us, the value of Q is given, the value of L is given, K is known to us, all the values are given. You substitute these values and find out the answer in MKS system. So you solve and check the answer. You will get these answers in the option. So there are 4 options given. You have to calculate this value, substitute this given values. So this is MCQ number 17. Now in the next lecture we will do 18, 19 and 20. There are total 20 MCQ given in this level 2. Also we will do one theory, extra theory related to JEE and NEET. So have a nice day, students.